William Ruto knows that UDA did not win in Mbeere and UDA did not win in Malava. Hiyo anajua. We have evidence kwamba yeye mwenyewe alipiga simu kwa OCS kwa kituo kimoja na kingine in Mbeere, akasema ni lazima yule mtu sijui Muthende lazima ashinde. And kama wakili Njiru amesema, we are going to have a very...
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as time goes by, there is a conversation that is currently making headlines on social media. It's a conversation that Kenyans have now been triggered to join, as most of them now claims that if we don't do it now, then this is going to come to cost us later. If we don't do it now, then this is going to destroy our country in the near future. The conversation is all revolving around what recently happened during the by-elections that were conducted both in Malava and Mbeere North, because these are the most talked about by-elections in the country. And they are the by-elections where the number of people that were harmed, the high level of violence that was portrayed in these by-elections, it actually needs people to come together and rise against this. Because if this is condoned and we go ahead to uphold the results that were announced by the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, then be ready that in the year 2027, the country is going to be sunk into anarchy. The country is going to be torn into pieces by the regime of President William Ruto through state-sponsored goons and state-sponsored violence. Be ready to accept that after all the violence that will be meted on the people of the Republic of Kenya, that William Ruto will be declared the president, even after totally rigging the votes, and he will end up being sworn in as the president of the Republic of Kenya. Now, according to what we are receiving, the political aftermath of the by-elections in Malava and Mbeere North has transformed into a major legal confrontation, spearheaded by Governor George Natembeya and opposition leader Kalonzo Musyoka. Natembeya's categorical rejection of the Malava results, labeling the entire exercise flawed, combined with Kalonzo's vow to challenge the victories in court, signifies a powerful and united legal front against the ruling party's narrow wins. Now, this joint action ensures that the integrity of the elections and not just the political outcome will be subjected to intense judicial scrutiny. The core of the legal challenge rests on the several accusations that the IEBC condoned malpractices and allowed the elections to be rigged. These claims go beyond standard political rhetoric, suggesting a systematic failure or deliberate compromise of the electoral body's integrity. Such accusations severely undermine the public's confidence in the IEBC's ability to conduct fair elections in the year 2027. Now, the leaders are effectively asserting that the results of the Malava and Mbeere North contests are illegitimate and must be nullified to protect the democratic process. This legal offensive places the UDA had won parliamentary seats in both Malava and Mbeere North under immediate and significant threat. The ruling party had celebrated these wins as proof of their political dominance, but the court challenge forces them to spend time, resources, and political capital defending their victories. The prospect of nullification would inflict a massive political blow to the regime, validating the opposition's narrative that UDA's wins were secured through manipulation rather than legitimate popular will. Now, the joint action signals a crisis of confidence in the electoral system ahead of the 2027 general election. If the IEBC is proven to have been complicit in malpractices during these small-scale polls, it raises alarms about its capacity to manage a complex national election. Natembeya and Kalonzo are using these by-elections as crucial test cases, establishing that the opposition will not tolerate electoral impunity Their willingness to pursue legal actions forces the IEBC to urgently address internal failures and restore public trust. Now, the decisions by both Natembeya and Kalonzo to escalate the political conflict to the courtroom confirms that the era of political dominance will be fiercely contested in the legal settings. The by-election challenges solidify the courtroom as the new political battleground, where the final arbiters of power will be the judges, not just the tallying clerks. This legal warfare ensures that the path of 2027 will be defined by continuous effort to ensure that the electoral integrity prevails over the machinery and influence of the incumbent party. That is something that we all must agree, and we must put it into test. It's high time we all agree. If we don't test the integrity of this body that calls itself the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, right now, if we don't test it, then this body is going to test our faith. This body is going to test the peace of this country. And it will test the peace of this country by allowing electoral malpractices to go down. And that is why the only language that the legal minds that are all rallying behind this petition to seek the stopping of the swearing in of these members of parliament from Mbeere Northern Malava, that is Leonard Wamuthende and David Dakwa, the only language that these legal minds should hear from the court of law is the language of these polls being nullified. But I ask, it's a judiciary that we have all heard of it being compromised. Earlier, we have heard of a name, Juris Pesa, referring to the judicial system of the Republic of Kenya. Should we expect that this judiciary is going to offer us, as the people of the Republic of Kenya, a fair ruling in this by-election? Are they going to stand with Wanjiku or to stand with the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, which is the law, or they are going to stand with the perpetrators of the violence that was meted on the people of the Republic of Kenya on the 27th of November? It's a question that we must answer. If we fail to answer this question right now, and allow me to tell you, without fear of contradiction, if we fail to answer this question right now, then we will be required to answer this question in the year 2027, after the atrocities that will befall this republic. Because I don't expect even the aftermath of this by-election, somebody is holding a celebration party, a Thanksgiving party at a church in Kariobangi. What happens next is that goons are deployed, tear gas is dropped in churches in Kariobangi. Children are suffering. School-going kids are being tear gassed because they attended church service not knowing even about a politician that would be there that day. That is why I'm telling you. Even the aftermath tells you that this regime must be answerable for the crimes that they are committing. If they are going to continue being as ignorant as they have always been, then we are heading in so critical times. Today is on 1st of December 2025. On 1st of December 2027, we should either be having a country built on principles or a country built on anarchy, where no Kenyan will have the freedom of expression, no Kenyan will be allowed to speak, to hear their political differences, or no Kenyan will have even a place to call their home. That is what I'm telling you. And this is Ruto. This is a man that before we have seen what he did in this country. So the court of law, the Constitution 2010 was made after the post-election violence of the year 2007. And that Constitution was meant to safeguard this republic against something like that, like what happened in 2007. So the rule of law should take its course. And that is why we all stand behind lawyers like Paul Mwite, lawyers like John Aminwa, lawyers like Ndegwa Njiru, Senior Counsel Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, who all have taken the front seat to defend the integrity of the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. If ELECON and its cocoon of commissioners don't go right now, then we won't be having an election in the year 2027. Ile language mulisikia ikiimbwa Tanzania, no reform, no reform, no election, is the same language you will be singing in the year 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what's up. Make sure you subscribe. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.